Well, more and more these days, it's not the technology that you have in your hand that gives you a leg up. It's the software that you use. Chat GPT is one example. AI art is another.
Yeah, it sure is. If you have an iPhone, there is technology that now allows you to clone your own voice. And there are benefits and disadvantages to all of this. Queen City News anchor Derek Dellinger sat down with a number of experts to discuss them all, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the creepy of emerging technology.
In the last few years, you likely have seen it for yourself, or maybe have used it. Artificial intelligence or intuitive programs that open up your world, but also may raise a lot of questions, and they just keep coming. There's extremely detailed art that is made by AI, and the days of a computer voice that sounds like this,
Welcome to the future.
or like this,
Welcome to the future.
now sounds like this.
Welcome to the future.
For the record, that's my voice, or rather a clone of my voice, using a feature that is on the new iPhone update. This new feature actually prompted us to ask some questions on where this is all going. A lot of this technology available on the consumer level that is increasingly high quality.
I heard your voice and I'm talking to you and I'm not sure I would recognize the difference.
Dr. Lee Tiedrick is a distinguished faculty fellow in law and responsible technology at the Duke Initiative for Science and Society. And to say the least, her plate, lately, has been full.
There is so much attention on artificial intelligence and data, and the world is moving so rapidly. The technological developments are advancing at record pace.
Now, for the sake of the questions that we have on emerging tech, let's use the voice cloning feature as an example. While it is not called that, Apple touts the feature as a way to create your own personal voice on your phone, tablet, or computer.
Eric shouted, "Look out behind you."
All you have to do is follow some prompts, speak, and a short time later, a very convincing version of your voice can say anything.
Is this real or just my imagination?
It's an accessibility feature meant, at least by inference, to help those who may be able to speak now but not in the future, possibly due to a medical issue.
To have a tool that enables them to be able to communicate more, whether it's a temporary issue, whether it's a permanent issue, people who may have stuttering or other types of issues, it may be a bridge to help them get to a place where they can use their voice more.
Emerging technology also has other uses, personalized shopping, AI assistance, and can also help prevent fraud. But experts say it can also cause fraud in the wrong hands.
Over the last 2 years, how much have things changed?
A lot.
Mason Wilder is with the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners, who told us that the wild frontier of this emerging tech is already here.
There are a number of documented cases of organizations being targeted with deepfake audio, clips that often are left as voicemails, and it could be the fraudsters pretending to be somebody's executive or like a boss.
Scams, frauds, deepfakes, the potential, for example, for a newfound artwork or music purported to be by a legendary artist to be actually be made by AI. It's already there.
All of these scams have been around in one form or another forever, but as technology allows it, they get better and more convincing and less obvious that they are scams.
Kathy Stokes is the director of fraud prevention programs at AARP, who says the best advice for keeping yourself from being a victim of it is to trust your instincts.
We need to engage our inner skeptic on everything.
Back to that example of your voice being cloned, though, for just a second. Apple touts that feature as being safe. The voice prompts are done and are processed on your device. But you can export that cloned voice to another device, and there's also the possibility of that cloned voice or your phone being stolen, which can open a proverbial Pandora's box of your likeness being out there without your knowledge or permission. There's also ethical concerns with this type of technology, too. One example is using the voice and likeness of someone who has died and how it would be used, or how it would affect grief of a loved one. Or what if a stalker had this type of access? Or what about the possibility of addiction? You may not fathom anything like this, but it doesn't mean someone else wouldn't.
People create these digital companions, and do we as a society want people retreating into this digital world?
Tiedrick says the quality will only get better. A number of technology companies have signed on to an effort to be guarded about emerging tech, especially artificial intelligence. The idea is not centered around keeping AI from destroying humanity, but integrating it into everyday life.
When we talk about this in the context of artificial intelligence, one of the phrases that has really gotten a lot of traction in all different sectors around the globe is this idea of responsible technology, that we want to make it available, but it has to be done in a responsible way.
But for the moment, what's out there can already affect what you hear and see. It may change your perceptions on what is actually real or what is made by human hands. And it's in those hands that will determine the future of this emerging technology. Derek Dellinger, Queen City News.